What's up, YouTube? Back again with another video after a failed video from yesterday. Tried to do one on the freeway and I think the air conditioning was blasting and just couldn't hear shit, so fiddled around with some of the sound settings and none of that worked. So I'm here with the ever gorgeous, majestic,
oh my god, you don't have to do all that,
just beautiful soul Shia. Driving around again to pick up a phone. Make sure you give me the directions, please. So kind of just been thinking about what I wanted to talk about, and the video that I did the other day, I don't know what we were talking about, but we were talking about how fucked up things are, which I don't want that to become like a habit about the channel or anything, like something that we just kicking a dead horse. But it's just, you know, constantly on my mind, and I think it's on everybody else's mind a lot too. So, you know, we are going to kind of talk about that quite a bit. And so I was watching a podcast today with a guy named Sean Ryan, who is like an ex-Special Forces guy. He was in the Secret Service or the CIA, and he also was in Afghanistan, fought in Afghanistan. And I really like the guy. I mean, I just, you know, there's some people that you just, you know, you get really good energy off of, you get a good vibe, and you just get the feeling that what they're speaking just resonates with you as being the truth. And I think that's an important thing nowadays, is that we're able to discern the bullshit from the not bullshit. And I think if more people did that and had a higher IQ when it came to that kind of stuff, we'd be in a better place, because we wouldn't be voting in all these fucking knuckleheads into the federal government. And that was essentially what he was talking about during this podcast, is that the federal government has, for all intent and purposes, become completely non-functional in our country, as evident by all of the just debauchery and the complete mockery that's being made out of our country. And speaking about the pullout from Afghanistan and like what happened behind that, why it happened, and he really shined a lot of light onto that I had no idea. And so he was talking about how Afghanistan is just a huge lithium reserve. So the natural resources over there are just really abundant as far as the lithium. And you know, he's talking about how the Biden family has ties with China. There's obviously had some kind of shady dealings with China, and at this point China is, you know, our main exporter, or we import all of our batteries, amongst a lot of other things, to basically all of our products that give us our green energy, like the big propellers there. What are those things called? The wind turbines. Even our transformers for our power grid, all of our lithium ion batteries, so all of this stuff that we get from China. And so it just makes you wonder what's going on over there. Why would we pull out in that kind of fashion and basically just abandon our allies over there and the Afghani soldiers? And you know, maybe it's because of the lithium reserves over there. Maybe there was some kind of like backdoor deal, you know, having to do with that. Give me 1 second here. I gotta meet up with this person, so don't let me forget what I'm talking about as far as the lithium and stuff. Anyways, yeah, so I was talking about the lithium ion reserves over there, and why would we just abandon that that country like that in a fashion that just made us look completely like dicks, really. And so it makes you think maybe it was China had something to do with it, since they are just the only importer that we have of those kind of materials, and they're involved heavily in the new Green Deal as well too. So but then he also was talking about something about the Afghan, well, people think we were at war with Afghanistan, but we were not at war with Afghanistan. We actually fought alongside the Afghan troops and trained them and bled with them allies over there. We were not at war with them. They were fighting the Taliban. So we basically abandoned our allies out there, and he was talking about how much we left over there. So there was, I mean, there's so much documents and all of the materials, everything, the weapons, all of that shit that we left over there. And on top of that, come to find out that we are actually funding the Taliban to the tune of about $70 million a week. I shit you not. The Taliban's revenue is about $2 billion a year, and about half of that comes from us. So, you know, these poor fucking Afghan, you know, fighters and stuff that were rising up against the Taliban to create freedom in their country. Freedom. What?
Do you want to pump gas?
No, I can make it. So they're fighting against the Taliban in their country just to get freedom, which they kind of started to create freedom. Their young girls were going to school. Their women had the right to vote. You know, all these things. So they got this taste of freedom, and they really didn't even want us to come back over there and train them or have anything to do with that. They just wanted us to stop fucking funding the Taliban. So if you can actually believe that, it just goes to show you how fucking incompetent, whether or not, you know, our government knows it or not, that just unbelievable that they would do this just to, like, number one, fund the military industrial complex, and number two, to, I don't even know, be in cahoots with China somehow. I don't know what the deal is with that, but it's pretty sickening. And, you know, just on every level, the fact that we've got our southern border completely wide open, letting God knows how many terrorists into this country, and just the whole thing with the Trump assassination, and, you know, just all of the fuckery behind that, and just how crazy it is that the Secret Service let all that happen. Which, if you don't believe that they let that happen, then your fucking head is in the sand, because there's no way that a venue like that, a shooter ends up getting up there and getting past everybody, flying a drone and all this shit. It's just crazy. And so every level of our government, the FBI, the CIA, the NHS, like all of these three-letter agencies are completely failing the people. And not only are they failing the people, but they're just a massive waste of taxpayer dollars. You know, our debt is just out of control. And it's all just this huge money grab, you know, including the whole Ukraine war, how much we're funding them. None of our own money is actually going to fix the problems that are happening in our country. And it just seems like it's a big, massive money grab until the end, until the entire thing implodes. And I really do believe that there is a push for depopulation as well. And it goes into the whole thing with the COVID and the vaccines, how quickly that shit was pushed out, how all of the trials in the beginning, like all of the data was like either not mentioned, it wasn't disclosed about the efficacy of the vaccine. You know, there was so much data that they hid from the people to try and push that so quickly. You know, the amount of like severe damage it was causing, I think it was something about 1 in 800 people were having severe adverse reactions to that. And it makes you question, why was that even pushed through when something like the swine flu vaccine, which was like, I think 1 in 100,000 people had to, I don't know what medical condition it was that they developed from that, but that was shelved. And so why did they push that so quickly on people? And why the hell were we lied to about the origin of COVID in the first place? I mean, it came from a fucking facility in Wuhan. It was a manufactured fucking disease. It wasn't even like an organic occurring disease. So, I mean, it just, I don't know, maybe I'm paranoid, but it really seems like we're just trying to be exterminated. with, you know, the far left view that, you know, on abortion and everything, which I'm not for abortion, against abortion. Like, I'm kind of in the middle of the road. Like, if my daughter gets raped in the inner city, like, I don't want to raise that baby, and I'm sure she wouldn't want to raise that baby either. So there are circumstances where I'm like, okay, you know, I can see where abortion would be something that I would turn to. But to have this far left view of like normalizing and making it okay for that in like all these circumstances and everything, it just really seems like they're pushing for like depopulation. And Kamala Harris recently was talking about you know, the term climate anxiety, and that a lot of younger generation don't even feel like it's safe to have kids anymore because the state of the planet is deteriorating so quickly. And so there's this whole narrative and ideology behind all of this. It's just extremely sinister and totally fucking sick, and nobody wants to talk about it. Either nobody wants to talk about it, or it's being completely censored out of social media and the media in general. So you start to add up all these pieces to this puzzle and start to put it all together, and it's like, okay, we need to like push for regime change like now, and everybody needs to stop being a lazy fuck, get off their ass, do their research, learn about what's going on in the world around them, use that discernment I was talking about earlier, and get out there and vote these people out of there. You know, get somebody in there that's going to be anti-establishment, which at this point Trump is really our best option. He's our only option. I'm not saying I agree with everything he says, and I do think he could be a little bit more articulate, a little bit more professional in the way he conducts himself. I hate to see him be kind of immature sometimes, and I don't like the way he phrases certain things or kind of takes the bait, if you will. But, you know, our other option is Kamala Harris, who is just a fucking cackling, extreme liberal, like, horrible track record.
Gotta be louder.
Yeah, and then I'm inside of a tunnel right now, so hopefully you guys can hear me. But yeah, any thoughts on all of this shit, babe? I mean, I hate to keep talking about it, but it's always on my mind, and I'm just like, fuck, man, I feel this pressure mounting.
You know me, I'm not very political, but I would like to see people do more research on the candidate that they are, you know, going for, just because of identity, because that's exactly what it is. A lot of people are saying, well, she's a woman of color, let's vote for her, or she's a woman, period. You know, so they're just going based on identity. Doing more thorough research and really having the core values and standing next to your candidate and saying, yeah, this is somebody who I trust. But vote for the person that you feel would be great for America and Americans, because that's exactly who we have to take care of, ourselves.
Yeah, definitely agree. Yeah, and the whole identity politics thing and like inclusion and stuff, it's like, I don't understand why the left feels like they're being attacked so hard by conservatives. Like, I don't know any conservatives or any friends that I have that feel the way I do that gives a shit about what anybody else does with their body or any of that. Like, I don't give a fuck what you do with your own body or your own life. I have a problem with you pushing it on our children and indoctrinating our youth into that. But, you know, you have to understand what is going on in this country, and they are stealing our fucking rights right out from under our nose. And they're attacking us on all kinds of different levels, from the shit they're putting in our food to, you know, the First Amendment being attacked by just constantly censoring. And I think Elon Musk is, dude, fucking, man, that guy can be considered a savior as far as I'm concerned, because, you know, purchasing Twitter and getting rid of that shithole team that was running that company, I think that was a really brave move on his behalf. So, you know, I don't really have too much else to say about it. I'm about home right now, so, you know, I'd love to get you guys' feedback on what you think about all of it and how you approach trying to educate people in your lives that are just really, for the most part, ignorant or lazy or in a combination of both or whatever, because it's something that is a problem for everybody like ourselves that wants change and is like in this kind of tough spot. Like, how do you go about it? You know, you can get canceled so quick, you can get labeled so quick, and yeah. Did I just take the wrong turn?
Yeah.
I sure did. Anyways, that's pretty much it for right now, guys. Hope you guys have a good night. And if you subscribe, like, share, that'd definitely be helpful and get the message out there. Peace out.